filming the signature winged liner tutorial. I thought it was necessary for me to do this video. I've done one in the past, but something about the video like corrupted and it made it really low quality, so I'm refilming it. I always have you guys asking how I do my eyeliner, and it's actually really simple, so I thought I would just make a video about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this and find it helpful, and let's just jump right in. One of the easiest forms of application for eyeliner for me is by using a felt tip liner. This is the one that I'm using at the moment. It's by Collection, so I think it's about £3 or something. It's very affordable. The thing that I love most about this eyeliner is that it's got a very fine tip and it's very easy to control, unlike a brush. So I find that using a gel liner that's in a tiny little pot is usually much harder, although it does last longer. So I think what you like to use is just down to preference. For me, I find that this is the quickest method to apply your eyeliner. This one is called the Collection Extreme 24-Hour Felt Tip Liner, and this is the one that I use every day pretty much, and I find that it does stay on for quite a long time. It doesn't really budge or smudge anywhere. To complete my eyeliner, I also use a twisty little kohl liner like this. This is by Rimmel and it's called Exaggerate Waterproof Eyeliner. The fact that it's waterproof makes it last extra long, and it's very good for the waterline. So what I usually do is I take the eyeliner, the kohl one, and all I do is I just tight line my upper waterline. I know that this is kind of tricky for some people because your eyes can get very watery. So what I usually do is I have my mirror on the side and I look that way, and I place my eyeliner into my waterline and I just close my eye on it, and then I just sort of wiggle it around like this. And I find that this is just the easiest way to tightline your eyes without making them super watery. And it also makes sure that you don't poke yourself in the eye, because that hurts. With my eyeliner, I don't usually take any eyeliner into the inner corner because I find that it closes up the eye a lot. So I try to avoid going into the corner, and I sort of end at about this sort of area, and I just sort of fade it into the corner just so it's not too harsh but you still get a bit of definition to the lash line. I'm just going to go ahead and repeat that same step to the other side. As you can see, my top lash line looks much thicker now because we've tight lined it, and it's just a very subtle way to line your eyes without actually creating any line on the lid space. This is especially good for people who have small lid space just like me. And now for the fun part, we're going to go in with the felt tip liner, and I'm just going to be creating the wing. A cool tip that I have learned from Me My Mouth One, which is my friend on YouTube, is when you have hooded eyes, basically to draw your eyeliner just a little bit lower than your eye actually ends. Usually you would just extend the line from where your bottom waterline is, but if you create the line just a little bit lower, about here, it just makes sure that the skin doesn't droop over the line and it doesn't hide it, sort of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that step. Of course, if you don't have hooded eyes, you can skip this and you can just join it from your lower waterline. So all I'm doing is I'm going a little bit lower, and I'm creating a little line like this. So the line that I've created is sort of adjacent to my eyebrow. If I was to continue it, it would almost link to my eyebrow, and that's what you're going to aim for. So I'm just making sure that I'm making very small and subtle lines. You don't want to go all out and just create one long line in one go, because that is just a recipe for disaster. So take your time doing this. You want to try and have as much control as possible. And all I'm doing now is just feeding that line back into the lash line with very small strokes. When you're trying to fade out the line, if you have your brush positioned like this and just make short downward strokes like that, it's just going to create a very nice sharp line. And to make life easier, what I usually do is I just stop in the outer third of my eye and just try and blend the lash line to the actual wing. So as you can see, I've stopped creating my line right here in the outer third of my eye. And I usually don't drag the liner over the middle part of my lash line because I find that it can close up the eye again, and I have quite a small lid space, so if I create a line, it just ends up making my lid space look even smaller. So if you did the step where you placed the liner just a little bit lower than your bottom waterline, you can go in a step further and use your kohl liner once again, and all I'm doing is I'm just joining that line ever so slightly, and I'm running the liner down my lower lash line, and then I'm taking the smudgy side of this liner and I'm smudging that out a little bit. This is just going to make it look more natural and like it's supposed to be there. If you have made any mistakes, do not fear, you can go back in and correct it. So I'm just going to be taking a concealer of my choice, and the one I'm going to be using is a matte concealer. it's got like 3 little sections to it. So I'm using the lighter shade on a flat brush. I'm just going to be taking that underneath this line here just to sharpen it up a little bit and make it more crisp. So this is the finished liner, this is what it looks like. It definitely makes a lot of difference. It does elongate and enlarge the eye. And again, it's not too dramatic because obviously we didn't go into this inner corner here, and it's quite wearable for an everyday look. So that is all for this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed this and I hope you guys find it helpful. If you did, then definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day and I will see you on my next video. Bye!